Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Tone Avenue Talk. Tonight we have a special guest, Miss Jen Hernandez, Zumba instructor, personal trainer, passionate person as far as fitness. Welcome.
Thank you. Hello, and thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure.
Pleasure is ours. Jen just finished another epic Zumba class tonight here at Tone Avenue. Everybody left out of here pouring with sweat but smiling. So everybody enjoyed the class. That's one of our top classes here at Tone Avenue, but we're just gonna take a little time out to speak with Jen about her fitness journey. So tell us how you got started into Zumba.
Okay, so the first time I walked into a Zumba class was at 15. I was training for boxing then in high school because I was a little bit more on the heavy side, and I've always liked, Thai bow and that kind of stuff in the 5th grade. So for cardio purposes, I walked into a Zumba class with my best friend and fell in love with it. I love to dance and I love fitness. And then all of a sudden there's this program that has both, not only just like, EDM, cardio music, like, which I love too, because I grew up on house music all night long. But anyway, yeah, so it was just different. It was Latin music, it was, they had Bollywood, they had different, earthly rhythms, and yeah, we just kind of stuck with it after that, and we didn't miss a class. That was our cardio. Nice. Every single week. Yep.
Nice.
And fast forward 24, I got certified.
Nice.
Yeah.
So 10 years later.
10 years later, so I'm awesome. Seasoned. Yes. Awesome. After taking them, and so many people told me to do it, but it took time to get there.
Definitely.
And here I am.
Definitely. Well, listen, that's a lot of people's stories. Sometimes it takes other people to motivate you to actually go out and certify yourself. I have the same story. Awesome story.
Mm-hmm.
So something interesting that you shared with me was during your fitness journey, like you said, you were boxing as well. You were going hard in the gym, and your trainer noticed that you were not getting results.
Yes.
So that became a kind of a pause to see why aren't you getting the results?
Yeah.
Since you're putting in the work and you discovered something. Let's talk about that.
Okay, so I started 3 times a week, 3 hours a day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for 3 hours, training, going up steps, doing the circuits, shadow boxing with weights, killing it. I mean, I was killing it. People were turning eyes. Like, it was just, my best friend and I were the only females in the youth program. Everyone else were basketball players, football players, like all these tall, big guys. And we were doing it for boxing, but I wasn't necessarily losing the fat, because, you gain muscle, lose fat, your weight is, the number varies, but nothing was really changing. I just felt that way, and it seemed that way. So at first, my trainer was like, it might be something hormonal, because we talked about it, and he was like, well, maybe something hormonal. So he referred me. He's like, you should go to the doctor and check it out. And I did, and I ended up finding out that I had PCOS, which is polycystic ovary syndrome. A lot of women go without knowing that they have it for a very long time, and I was actually fortunate enough to learn at a young age that I did.
And you were 24?
I was actually 16.
16, okay.
Because it had been a whole year. So, it takes a good time for your body to transform, but when it comes to a year, and you kind of see yourself, you're the same size, you still got, my legs were toned, my arms were toned, but it was like this little belly, like the beer belly area that guys usually call it, and it wouldn't go away, and when you're trying to be somebody and you're trying to, you know, be this fit person, because, you know, people got a lot of saying, you know, you let people get in your head, which is fine, but you gotta do something about that. So, yeah, nothing was changing, and then, you know, we talked about it. I had a lot of facial hair, I had a lot of acne, irregular periods. So, all those things put together, you know, I was diagnosed with PCOS. From then on, things started to change because now it was like a whole nother journey that begun. It wasn't just, you know, a teenage girl trying to be fit, trying to, you know, have this strong body, because I was always taught fitness like to be strong, you know, not necessarily to be skinny, but to be strong. My dad was very hard-headed on that and reading and knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter that I'm a female, I can do anything that I can do, kind of thing, kind of mentality that he brought me into.
Right.
So that's why I did boxing too, because, you know, I love boxing, and, you know, everyone was like, oh, you're gonna box? Yeah, why not? You know? So it was mostly for me. It was mostly like my therapy, honestly, boxing. And I think it is till this day too. Dancing, of course, is a passion.
Right.
But when it comes to frustration and like really getting to the nitty gritty, like, is boxing for me. Like, I don't mind it at all.
Okay.
So then that we kind of changed the way my programming was, but it also affected me in the sense of like I did whatever the doctor would say. And now being older and learning to listen to your body and read and all that stuff, I've realized, you know, not everything that the doctors say is gonna be beneficial for you. You know, I was 16. They wanted to give me birth control right away. You know.
Well, let's go back to something you said, which I think is very crucial. You mentioned listen to your body, and I wanna go back to that because I think there are a lot of women who probably go to the gym, they work out, they put in the work, but they're not seeing results.
Right.
And that's not something to look over or dismiss. And fortunately, your trainer recognized it and said something, and you did what you should have done, go to the doctor to figure out what it is, and come to find out it was PCOS.
Yeah.
So I think that's important. What would you tell someone out there who maybe is going through the same thing? They're going to the gym consistently, but they're not seeing results. What would be your advice, and what are some of the symptoms for PCOS specifically?
Gotcha. So for PCOS specifically, there are a lot of symptoms, but I want to say top 3 are, for me, it was irregular periods, the cystic acne. So it's not just like your basic acne, you know, you get your blackhead, your whitehead that, you know, you put a little bit of cream and it goes away. No, it's like, it feels like a huge, like a ball underneath your skin, and it's not something that's gonna pop and it's gonna go away because it's underneath your skin. And then when you try to do that, it's just hard. Like, it just goes, don't touch your face. There's regular acne, cystic acne, just don't, leave it alone. You know, you scar. And then for me, it was the facial hair. I have a lot of facial hair, and because of facial hair, my skin is oily, so I produce a lot of acne, a lot of blackheads, and the irregular periods for me. There was one time that I literally went, I want to say 7-8 months without getting my period, and I'm like a teenager. I was like, this was 13. You know what I mean? And luckily we went to the doctor and that got handled. But things like that, you know, and all the doctors had to say at that time, before I even went to the gym, was, oh, you know, you're still going through puberty. You haven't fully gone through puberty yet, but, you know, and it's like, okay. But then again, a lot of studies haven't been done. Fortunately now we do have a lot more studies out there for PCOS, but back then, I mean, we still till this day sometimes get treated like a diabetic patient. A lot of females out there are given metformin to treat PCOS, which hasn't, from my knowledge personally, now correct me if I'm wrong, whoever's out there, if you know something, let us know, update me. But metformin isn't meant to treat PCOS. There's no research showing that metformin, helps PCOS, or helps treat PCOS. It's for diabetic patients.
Gotcha.
But because of the insulin resistant, that's another thing. That's what gets the beer belly, and for me, it doesn't do it. They try to like cover it up with something that's already out there, or it's like saying like, if you're Latin, or Vicks fixes everything, if you're coughing, put Vicks in your chest, put, Vicks on your feet. You have to, fortunately now we do have the studies, but back then there wasn't a lot out there. And
Okay.
I was fortunate for my dad, he gave me one book on it.
Okay.
I'll never forget. It's called The Hormone Diet, and I do recommend people read it.
Okay.
I can't remember the author's name though, but
Okay.
it's called The Hormone Diet. It's basically a self-quiz. You can read about it. It has to do with women with PCOS, hormonal. That's why it's called the hormone diet, because it's
Okay.
not just PCOS. It's hormonal. You get to figure out what hormones are doing to your body.
Okay.
And stuff like that. So yeah, it was pretty knowledgeable, and I got to read, and that's when I was like, okay, no to the birth control, no to this.
Gotcha.
Slowly realizing, okay, I gotta stop dairy, and I love coffee. I've been drinking coffee since I was little with milk, little things like that. I don't drink milk just like straight, but I have it in my cereal. I have it in a protein shake. I have it, so little things like that. Like I had to start eliminating it from my diet. And it's hard, but you start seeing results based off what your body structure is, which is why you have to go to the doctor just to get the test done.
Mm-hmm.
But at least you also know that you have a voice to your doctor. It's not just that, you blindly follow whatever your doctor says, because it's a journey too, like they have to research too, you know what I mean? So it's like, ask questions. It's okay to debate and be wary of trying something new and having questions as to, side effects and mood changing, things like that.
Okay.
It's a whole big a whole big thing. But
I want to touch on
Yeah.
something else
Mhm.
that you just said. So, let's break it down. If someone experiences the same, they're not getting results from the gym, and they know they're consistent, they're going hard in the gym. First step, go to the doctor to get tested.
yes.
After that, what will be the
So
next step?
depending on what your primary care would say, they would refer you out. They have referred me out to an endocrinologist, which is pretty much a specialist that specializes in the hormones in your body. They're the ones that take the required testing, like a sugar test. You would have to go, fasting, not eating anything. They take your blood work, and they give you glucose, and then you wait and have to come back later, and then they take your blood work again to see how you reacted to the glucose, to see your hormones reactions and what's happening.
Okay.
There's more in depth, but every case is different, so that's why it's important to speak to your primary care. And if you don't feel comfortable with what they have to say, it's okay to go to another one and get a second, third, fourth opinion, or find someone that is specialized in PCOS that can lead you to the right person or the right direction as to where you should go.
Okay.
Yeah,
Very good
for
advice.
sure. Yeah.
Very good advice. So, food and diet plays a big part.
Yes, a huge part. That's your number one. Before fitness, it's what you put inside of your body, and it's as simple as, certain meats, certain chickens, chicken meat, breast, chicken breast that get fed certain things and stuff like that, and the milk. There's a milk. There's your regular gallon of milk that I buy at the grocery store, and then I recently found that there's like an A2 milk, which is milk from cows that don't get fed those extra hormones to and the milk tastes different, and it does feel different. Now, is it still bad for me? Yes, it is. But that's why you have to try. You have to try.
Right.
You have to introduce. You have to stop eating all the bad stuff and slowly reintroduce food groups into your body to see the reaction that you get.
Right.
Because everyone's different. I personally cannot. Dairy is a no-no. Is a big no-no in my diet. But I know I can have potatoes.
Right.
And I love potatoes. Something as simple as fries isn't taken away from me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
if I want to go to a drive-through, now granted, is there oil and all that stuff? Yes. But I know I can eat. It's better for me to eat fries than it is to eat a whole bowl of white rice.
Okay.
My body's gonna digest it differently. It's gonna store the energy differently.
Right.
And that's what we have to learn and go through when you have something. And I mean, people with diabetes go through it too. That's why I can see why doctors want to do what they do, but at the same time, it's the same, but it's different.
Right.
So, granted, someone with diabetes can relate to us when it comes to having to, the diet, or we can relate to a person with diabetes having to control what they eat, making sure what they're putting in their body isn't gonna, make their sugar go up, or, not eating at a certain time makes their sugar drop.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? If we don't, we get moody. PCOS, moody.
Okay.
Our moods change. If we're not, if our levels, and it's mostly, I believe, our cortisol levels are always, I'm always fatigued. I mean, that's a different ballgame, but
Okay.
fatigue is another one for me. Like my adrenal fatigue.
Okay.
So like I have to push myself sometimes. Like there are times where I don't even want to get out of bed. I sleep my 8 hours. I sleep great. I'm still tired when I wake up.
Okay.
So
that's another good point. So if anyone is experiencing fatigue,
irregular periods, you get a lot of facial hair in your chin, as very minor as that may sound. If you're one that waxes your chin all the time, you get cystic acne, that you feel the acne, but it's like underneath your skin, or just regular, you're a grown, adult, not going through puberty anymore, and you have a whole ton of acne.
So ladies,
Yeah.
so important. If you experience any of those symptoms, please go get checked out by your physician or your doctor. So Jen, thank you for being very open.
Thank you. I mean, it's a pleasure.
I want to put it out there.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are a lot of questions. How can someone reach out to you if they have more questions, or maybe experiencing some of the same symptoms and just want to talk to you? How can they reach out to you?
So my Instagram is Jens .nation, so JENS.nation. My Facebook is Jens Nation, just like that. You guys can always reach me through email at jensnation618@gmail.com. I check my emails every single morning. You guys can write a whole story. I will read it. And I will definitely reach back to you through email. Currently, my site is under construction, but I will be posting a lot of stuff up there. It's going to be jensnation.com, JENSNATION.com, and it's me. It's fitness. It's dance. It's blogging. I'm a mom of a toddler as well, so it's that Jens Nation. It's me. It's my world. Welcome to my world.
Awesome.
So yeah, and I kind of like I wanted everything under an umbrella, and I invite y'all to me to know my story, because you may have a similar story, and we can go through this journey together and rise together. And climb that mountain.
I love it.
Climb that mountain and get on that summit.
And
For
actually,
sure.
something that I want to point out in closing. Jen, you are a full-time mother of a toddler, wife, Zumba instructor, personal trainer, and you are dealing with PCOS. So I think at the end of this podcast interview, I want everyone to realize that when you are diagnosed with something, educate yourself on how to read up on it. Read. Do your research, and just know that you can still thrive despite the diagnosis. And that's something that we're trying to focus on this podcast, because so far everyone we've had on the podcast are in fitness but have gotten a diagnosis. And I think that's so important, because so many people out there, whether they're diabetic, whether they have high blood pressure, they feel like they're stuck. They feel like maybe they're not able to exercise or live a healthy life where they thrive. And I think we're breaking down those so-called reliefs, because here we are. You play the fool like anyone else, but you still tell them where you are every Wednesday night. Tell them where you are just through the week.
Okay.
What can they find you if they just want to take an awesome class?
I'm scattered around Sports Club Fitness in Greenville, if y'all know. It's a luxury gym, you can say. It has all the nine, the pool, the sauna, the child care, if y'all into that. It's very nice, and 2 floors, and they have different locations. I'm scattered around there throughout the month. Y'all can check out their website or on my Insta. I put whenever I'm there. But permanently, y'all can always find me Tuesdays in Greenville at Empowerment Zone. We just started out in the month of August. Wednesday here at Tone Avenue at 7 o'clock. So y'all can't make excuses. It's late night. Work ends at 5, 6 o'clock. You done with rush traffic. 7 o'clock, I'll see you here if you're in Spartanburg, and 6:30 over there in Greenville. Thursdays, I'm also back at Empowerment Zone at 6:30. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm in Greenville at 6:30 at Empowerment Zone. Wednesdays, I'm here in Spartanburg, 7 o'clock at Tone Avenue. And I will be shortly scattered around a little bit more, but we'll keep you guessing on that one.
That's right. Just follow social media, Jen Nation, to find out what's in store for Jen.
Yes.
And there's some big things coming, y'all. Again, Jen, thank you so much for not only being here, but being open and transparent. And I think a lot of people are going to watch this podcast and be able to relate. So you guys, reach out, connect to Jen, with Jen. Any questions, please feel free to reach out to her. And again, it's been a pleasure to have you here with us.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. And remember, guys, a diagnosis does not make you. You make yourself. You deserve what you desire. And that's something a close friend of mine has told me, and it has stuck with me since then. You deserve what you desire. Don't let a diagnosis stop you. That's a lot of these.
I love it.
A lot of these.
I love it. No better way to close out.
But,
awesome, guys. All right, y'all.
Hit me up. Any questions, for sure. I'm here. Any low impact training, I'm here too. Because PCOS people, we can't be doing no hit training. That's nothing. So hit me up.
Y'all heard it. All right, that's a wrap.
All right.
Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Tone Avenue Talk. And we're out of here.